So I ran by Lowe's today and picked up some paint for the bottoms of the sheet metal pieces over there and the frame. I'm doing the frame in safety red and I'm doing the bottoms of my sheet metal floor. I'm going to do that all flat black. So should look pretty good. And I also got, as you can see here, I got 4 sheets of 2332 OSB and a bunch of 3/4 screws, and I am going to put the top on my layout table today, so then I'll actually have a table and not just a frame sitting here. So, got the top on the table. You ready for this? It's kind of big. So I decided to make it 7'6" wide instead of 78 inches like I had before, because the fiberglass that I'm getting is 84 inches wide, so I want to be able to just pull it off of the roll and lay the whole sheet out without having to trim it. So I decided to go with 7'6" by 13. So once I get ready to laminate, then this will get covered with a layer of plastic, visqueen or something, and then I'll use probably, I can't see it, here's some over here. Let's look real quick. I'm going to trim down some of this 2x2 aluminum angle and make those as like stoppers at the ends to kind of hold everything in place, probably on the sides too. And then I can't decide if I'm going to do the butyl tape and plastic for vacuum bagging, or if I'm going to do, I found a place I can get 45 mil rubber sheet for pretty cheap, so we'll see. I'll look at the cost of the consumables versus doing the rubber sheet and pick the cheaper one, I guess. So anyway, table is coming along. Alright, 1 coat of paint on the bottom. There's a couple little spots here and there I can see that are maybe a touch light, but this panel over here is starting to flash off pretty good, and it's looking pretty good, so I'll give it a day or two and see how they look, and then if I need to recoat, why I will recoat, but look good. Hey guys, so I am working on a new rear bumper. I changed my mind. What a shock, I know. I had this 1x3 by 120 as the rear bumper on here, but I wanted a little more strength for my rear tire carrier, and I didn't think that was going to be enough. So I have switched it up, and I'm going to use 2x3 by 3/16 rec tube And then this is my start of my tire carrier here. This is a 2x2 by 3/16. So that will be a little bit stronger. And then this little doodad is what my bumper, I call them bumperettes in my model, but this is what these are going to look like. So I'm going to have a loop on the outside and then a half loop on the inside for both ends of the bumper. So I think that'll look pretty good. And I will put a shot of the model right here so you can see what it looks like in the model, and it looks pretty close. So yeah, I think that'll be stronger for that. Oh, and then I also I'm doing a receiver tube on the back as well. So just in case I want to carry a basket on the back or more fuel, whatever, so I can carry something on the back if I need to. So that's what the bumper's going to look like. All right, guys, here's my bumperettes all tacked onto the new tube. I personally think it looks really good. And this is inspired by a couple of the Australian trailers that I saw that had kind of looped ends on them. I thought it looked pretty trick, so I decided to give it a shot. I think it's looking pretty good. Alright, you're probably wondering why I'm chopping the hell out of the back of the trailer right now. Well, I have a good explanation. It's good to me anyway. So, I had a new piece formed up to go on the back with a lip on the top for to support the back of the bed platform, because the bed platform is about even with the tops of these Fender pieces here. What I was going to do before I decided to have this formed was I was going to take one of these that I had formed up and I was going to weld a couple of those across the back. Well, that's all like 18 and 20 gauge, and it was going to warp really bad. Even with having that formed piece in the L shape, it was still going to warp pretty bad. So I decided that instead of doing another 70 inches of stitch welding and welding that up across there, I just would have a new piece made up. That's actually one piece, because this one, when I had this one made, I had to have it made in two pieces because the shop I went to previously only has a 48-inch brake, and the new shop that I go to, which is actually closer, CUNA Machine Shop, shout out, Tim, you're awesome, thank you. They have an 8-foot brake, so I can have him. Honestly, I wish I would have known that when I had all these other pieces made. I would have had him make all the stuff, but anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's why it looks like I'm being crazy and chopping my trailer up, but it's for good reason, I think. Alright, we're all mucked up here. It's looking pretty good. Looks a lot better than the other one with the big ugly seam in the middle of it, so I think this is going to be alright. And it's, so like I was saying, the bed platform is right on the top of the fenders there, so pretty level. I think that's going to work out real nice, and so then I'll come back and I'll put holes in this like every 4 to 6 inches, and then it'll get the same Sikaflex and pop rivets like the rest of the thing's going to get to go together. So making progress. Alright, new rear wall support welded in. It's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Also, I didn't record it because it's not that exciting, but I welded studs in for my mud flaps on both sides, and up at the front I've got flaps running on the front as well to keep the rocks from banging up the bottom of the trailer from the back of the truck. I'm going to have flaps on the truck too, but you know, it's just more protection, and that's how the Australians do it, so it must be good, right? That's what I think. So, yep, coming along. Alright, so I'm starting to work on some sheet metal angles here for supporting the fender wells. I got to get all these welded on. I'm doing one across the front, on the top, and on the back side of this to pop rivet panels too, and then I'm also going to do a shorty one that goes around the inside of the fender well to hold the fender wells on. So, and then where those two panels meet, there'll be a little shorty up in there too. So everything's going to be pop riveted and have some Sikaflex 505 on it. So I'm hoping this thing will be indestructible. That's the goal. well, we'll let that cool off and see if I kept it from warping. I didn't brace beforehand on this side, and then I had to cut and re-weld twice to get it to be plumb with the rest of the wall support. So this time I decided to brace beforehand, and I hope it pays off. So anyway, this is what the fender well supports look like. They got holes all across the back, top, and front for the panels to go in, or to fasten to anyway. So yeah, those are looking pretty good. So one other thing I wanted to mention too is just putting these thin 20 gauge sheet metal angles on here and just stitching them every 4 or 5 inches. These things are so incredibly stiff now. It really stiffened them up quite a bit. So that's a good thing, I think. All right, here's the verdict. I think that worked pretty good. Looks like I got, less than 1/8. And these things flex a tiny bit, so it's that's well within my shop tolerance. So I think that's looking really good compared to the other side. The other side was almost turning into a disaster before I got it fixed. So anyway, that was paid off, bracing that stuff before I welded it. So now that those are done, next step is start cleaning the frame off, I think. Wiping it down with acetone, getting a drop cloth, and hopefully start painting maybe here in the next week or so. That'll be good. I think I showed it already, but I'm going to show it again. I am painting the whole frame safety red, Rust-Oleum gloss, and then some accents underneath are going to be black, and the bumper is going to be, the bumperettes on the ends are going to, I think I'm going to do those black, and then I'll do red in the middle. So I'll do the tube up and around in this upright all black, and then I think I'm going to do the rest of the bumper red in the middle. So I think that'll look pretty nice. Anyway, this is where this thing sits now, coming along.